A few weeks ago, the news came out that we would be able to carry forward our skins from Black Ops 6 into Black Ops 7, and that made a lot of people happy who actually pay for this game and have invested time in this game and money into this game. Then, because of a bunch of loudmouth, crybaby baby boys who don't like it when other people enjoy things, they cried and cried, and Activision caved to them. And they came out yesterday saying that, okay, we're going to cancel the carry forward feature. So congratulations, Activision. You've just sided with people who don't buy anything in the game, who don't pay for development in the game. Congratulations. Let me know how that works out for you. And this is exactly why we just need a skin filter in the game, so people who enjoy using the skins and who actually pay for development of this game can continue to use what they paid for. And then the crying baby boys who get so triggered because they have skill issues and can't fight against the silly skins, so they can have their little military sim and pretend that they're big, strong military men because they couldn't hack being in the military in real life. So there were a lot of people, once carryover was announced, there were a lot of people who purchased battle passes, who started to really grind in the game to get, camos for their weapons because they were going to carry over too. And there were people who bought skins because they thought they were going to be able to carry them over into the next game. And then they just come out like this and say, oh, well, actually, no, we're not going to let you carry them over because a bunch of crying baby boys who want to cosplay like they're in the military, they don't like that. So going forward, I will not be purchasing any more skins in Call of Duty, not a single one. I will not be purchasing battle passes, and I'm not going to pre-order the game like I was going to do, because I was looking forward to using my Roger skin in Zombies. Now, I want to know, to all the crying baby boys out there, how does it affect you if I enjoy using Roger in a solo Zombies match because I like to hear the funny things he says? How does that affect you at all? And the truth is, it doesn't affect you. You're just full of envy and you're full of narcissism that you either can't afford a skin, or you somehow think that people are looking down on you because they buy a skin and you don't, which is just completely untrue. Nobody is looking down on you, okay, baby boy? Okay, little crying, sniveling baby boy. Wah, people are enjoying things, but I can't do it, so they're looking down on me. No, dummy, we don't even know who you are. We don't care to know who you are. We buy skins because we enjoy those skins. It has nothing to do with you at all. So just stop with this crazy narcissism that so many people have, where they think you buy a skin to, do something to them, to show up for them, to have a flex. It's not a flex. How is $20 a flex? $20 is literally nothing. I mean, Jesus, dude. Do you not understand that most people spend like $8, $9, $10 a day on just a Starbucks coffee? So you think it's a flex to buy a measly $20 skin because you enjoy the voice lines and the weapons? Dude, you gotta pull your head out of your butt. That is a stupid, dumb, narcissistic, egotistical take. It's not about you. It's never been about you, dummy. But now nobody gets to carry anything forward. You can't carry forward your, the zombie skins you got from doing the Easter egg. You can't carry forward all the weapons that you were grinding out and you got all your cool camos for. Nope, those are all gone now. All gone, bye-bye. Thanks to a tiny little portion of people who never buy skins, who will never buy skins, and who freeload off of everybody else. So I hope this little tiny minority enjoys having to pay their $15 every season now to get the new maps. I hope you enjoy it, dummies, because you've done it to yourself. And here's the funny thing about all of this. The so-called unrealistic skins are actually the most realistic thing in all of Call of Duty. And that's a fact. Because in real life, you can actually wear a costume. In real life, you can actually dress up like a Ninja Turtle. In real life, you can actually dress up like Stan Smith. Have you ever heard of Halloween? Have you ever heard of a costume shop? These are things that actually exist in real freaking life. You know what doesn't exist in real life? Bunny hopping for 15 minutes straight. You know what doesn't exist in real life? Getting shot in the face 15 times and waiting 8 seconds for your health to regenerate and being completely fine. You know what doesn't exist in real life? Sliding upstairs backwards on your butt, jumping over the person who is following you and 360 no-scoping them with a sniper rifle when you then land on your back and then you just hop up and run and bunny hop the rest of the game. That's not realistic. The literal core of Call of Duty is extremely unrealistic. The very movement is unrealistic. The idea that two teams are gonna face off in an apartment building is unrealistic. Literally the entire thing is unrealistic. The most realistic thing about Call of Duty is the silly skins. And that's just a fact, because those things can actually happen in real life. So what Activision needs to do is simply instantiate a so-called skin filter, so all the crying baby boys get to see what they want to see, and then the people who actually pay for development of the game get to actually see what they want to see. And essentially the way a skin filter would work is for all the crying baby boys who want to pretend like they're in the military, they would be able to flip a switch, turn it on, and then let's say you're running around as a Beavis and Butthead skin, having the time of your life playing with that skin. It's so fun to use. It's fun to use in zombies and hear all the funny things he has to say, But because of crying baby boys, they gave up a big stink. They messed their diapers. They're like, wah, I don't like seeing things that I don't like, and everything's about me. So they cried and had a huge fit. And what they would see on the other end would be just a standard default skin. What you would see in the game is, still the skin that you chose. So I'm fine with that. And the truth is, the vast majority of people who purchase skins are absolutely fine with the skin filter, because we don't buy skins for your benefit. I know there's a lot of narcissist baby boys out there who think everything's about them, but sorry, dummy, I don't think about you when I decide to purchase a skin. You never come up, because I don't know you. You're a random person in the world. No one knows you. No one cares to know you. They just want to have fun in a game that they paid $80 for. So why should they not be allowed to purchase the things that Activision themselves put in the freaking game in the first place? And you're like, no, you can't have fun in a way I don't approve of. So you just want to censor everything. And that's a really weird impulse for these little baby boys to have, where they want to make sure everyone plays the game the same way they do, because how dare you have fun hearing Beavis say, I can't feel my butt, I can't feel my butt, because that's hilarious. No, they want to run around in their stupid little camo military, cosplaying skins and pretend they're big military men in some futuristic setting, or when playing zombies. Hey, dummy, do you not realize zombies don't exist, you absolute dummy? Do you not understand that zombies aren't a real thing, you dummy? So why do I have to run around in a camo skin to fight zombies which don't freaking exist, you dummy? Do you not understand that, you absolute dummy, you fool? Jesus, man, you guys are just such freaking crybabies who ruin everything for everyone else, because you're chasing the nostalgia of being 10 years old, and you don't know how to come to grips with the fact that you're not 10 anymore. So instead of going forward and realizing that other people enjoy other things and allowing them to enjoy other things and not letting it affect you, instead of having to, become an adult, you cry and you throw fits like a child until you get what you want, and you screw everyone over. So congratulations, crying baby boys. You got what you wanted. Now I hope you enjoy having to pay $15 every couple months for your new map packs, because people like me are not going to buy skins anymore. So Activision should put this into place right now, and then immediately go back on the thing they just went back on. They should immediately announce, hey, sorry, we messed up again. We screwed over people who actually pay for the game, listening to a vocal little minority of stupid, dumb, narcissistic, envious baby boys. And now we're just going to have a filter that allows people to filter out skins that they don't want to see because they're crying little baby boys and they have a skill issue fighting against Beavis and Butthead for some reason. I don't know why they do. They're very easy to see skins. I don't know why you'd have a problem fighting against them. I guess you just really have a lot of skill issues. And that's something that you're going to have to deal with. You're just not as good at the game as you think you are. You're very, very poor at it. You're very poor at this game. Skill issue. If you cry about skins, skill issue. That's just a fact. Deal with it. Because as we already know, skins, silly skins, are the most realistic thing in this entire game. So if there's a skin filter, what difference does it make to me? I don't care at all. I want to be able to use my Roger skin and my Beavis and Butthead skins in zombies because I run zombies solo, and I kind of just chill out and have fun. But now I can't do that because a bunch of crying little baby boys who never purchased anything threw a big huge fit and wet their diapers. So I'm absolutely fine with a skin filter that allows them to filter out the skins, filter out tracer effects, filter out death effects. I don't care. You can have all of that. That's absolutely fine. Let's just have a skin filter and get it over with so we can stop the complaining from grown men who think Call of Duty, a video game, is their entire identity, which is so freaking pathetic and cringy. Ugh. But there have to be some rules about using this skin filter. It can't just be a one-way thing, because what will happen, folks, if we just have a skin filter, it will quickly become the meta for people to turn on the skin filter and force you to look a certain way, and then they will use their John Black Ops skin or their Frontman skin or some other totally black skin. And you know, most people aren't going to turn the skin filter on. They're just going to play normally, because the vast majority of people who play this game don't care about the silly skins. It doesn't bother them at all. It's just a tiny little vocal minority of crying baby boys who wet their diapers. They will be the only one turning that filter on, and then they will be able to benefit by forcing you to look a certain way while they still run around in their completely black skins. So if there is a skin filter, it needs to be a two-way street, to where if you turn it on and you force someone else to look like a boring camo military guy, like every, like the games from 20 freaking years ago that we've already played and already done. Okay, if you want to force everybody else to look like a standard military guy, then you also have to look like a standard military guy. So if you turn on that filter, you will not be able to use any skins besides the default launch skins, period. You can't use anything else. So if you happen to purchase a skin, sorry, you can't use it, because it's completely unfair for one side to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna dictate what you look like, but you can't tell me what I look like. Nope, that's not gonna work for me. Not gonna work for me at all. So if you don't wanna see me running around as Roger's Genie Gold or as Stan Smith, well then I should also have the option to force you to either look a certain way that would, I should be able to force you into a Beavis and Butthead skin on my end, right? So what I see is a Beavis and Butthead skin, or I should be able to, force you to be in some skin that's very, very easy for me to see, instead of you being able to choose some completely black skin and get the advantage. Because like I said, folks, that will immediately become the meta of the people who abuse every single system, is they will force you to be a military guy who's very easy to see, and they're going to be their completely black skins, and they're going to just, run roughshod over every single lobby. Because again, most people won't turn that feature on because it doesn't bother most people, because most people aren't crying baby boys who wet their diapers when people have fun in different ways. We just say, oh, well, that's silly or that's dumb or whatever, and they go on about their business. They don't obsess over it like a bunch of crying baby boys. So Activision, I am completely fine, as somebody who actually purchases skins, actually pays for development of this game. I'm completely fine with you putting in a skin filter so we don't have to listen to the incessant complaining of a bunch of crying little baby boys who have skill issues and constantly wet their diapers. I'm absolutely fine with that. Let them see whatever they want to see. It doesn't affect me at all. But at the same time, you have to force them to not be able to use any skins from the Battle Pass. They can't use any skins that they have purchased. They can only use skins that people on the other side approve of, or they can only use skins that are default. So they were there at the launch of the game. And that has to be, how this is set up. It's completely unfair to allow them to choose what I look like, but they can still run around in a Terminator skin or something like that, right? So if you want to set this up, it has to apply to them too, with no skins from the store, no skins from events, no skins from battle passes. That's how this has to be set up, because any other way is just completely unfair, and you're just going to do more damage than you've already done here, which you've done tons of damage. Congratulations. You've sided with people who don't pay for development of the game. And you've essentially told people who actually buy skins, you told them to stop buying skins, and you told them to stop buying battle passes, and you've told them to stop grinding the game and spending many hours in the game to try to get the cosmetics that they like and that they enjoy. How come these crying little baby boys only talk about skins being unrealistic? They don't talk about the other stuff other than, I mean, even the movement. We've already covered the movement, but they don't talk about the fact that there's like 50% female operators in the game. They never talk about that. Why? Because they'd get canceled if they talked about that. And they want to make sure they're still liked by everyone in society, right? They think they're actually hardcore, they're edgy. No, you're not. You're a sniveling little baby boy who wants to go around a game pretending you're a military man because you couldn't hack it in real life. That's pathetic. But if you really care about realism, then you would be telling Activision to stop putting females in the game. Because here's a fact for you. The DoD, the Department of Defense, let's just say the military, is actually only 16% female. It's over 86% male. And then whenever you look at casualties in war, women, females, only make up 1.8% of casualties fighting in wars, whereas males are like 98+%. So the people actually doing the fighting are all men, and yet female operators make up 50 to 60% of what you have in Call of Duty. But you all don't complain about that, do you? You all don't complain about realism there, do you? You're fine with that because you know if you bring that up, people will look down on you. And what you truly want is for people to like you. And it's so pathetic that you couch it in these terms of realism when there's literally nothing about this game that's real. The movement isn't real. The inclusion of 90% female operators isn't real. The inclusion of zombies isn't real. At its very core, again, at its very core, it's unrealistic. And the only thing realistic in Call of Duty is the silly skins. And that's a fact.